Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name's Maddie. I'm very new to YouTube, so I'm sure nobody out there knows me, but just quickly about me, I'm from Australia and I moved to London. So I really wanted to film like a Q&A type video, like with my questions and how best I can answer them based on my experience moving here. So yeah, keep watching and I'll share with you some tips and some answers. So I first want to start off by saying that I didn't move over here by myself. I moved over here with my boyfriend Ben. He is actually the reason we moved over, kind of. He got a job over here as an engineer. He just graduated university on the Gold Coast and I always wanted to move over here, so it kind of worked out so well that he got his job. So I'm very, very lucky that I have Ben and that he came over here having a job, because I can't imagine how people come over here and not already have a job lined up. That would be really scary, not knowing how you're going to afford to live, especially if you have no idea how expensive it is to live in London. But yeah, so I have a little list of questions and answers that I had before I had moved to London, if that makes sense. So something that I wish I knew and a video that I could have looked at to see what I needed to know before I moved, because I don't know anyone who's moved over here, so this was all just me making it up by myself, or better not making it up, but yeah. Okay, so first off, I'm very lucky. I'm a dual citizen, so I have a British passport, so I didn't need to worry about a visa, which saved a lot of money. But Ben did. He had to get a visa and the process of getting it. So you go online and there are companies who can actually help you to get visas, and there's all different types of visas you want. So with visas, Ben went through a company called First Contact and they helped him with everything. I'm not really too sure about the process because I personally didn't actually have to apply for one. Like I said, I'm a dual citizen, so I could just mosey on here. But yeah, so First Contact is a really good company. What I do know is that there are options that you can choose and they help you decide the visa that's perfect for you. They can also like speed up the process if you need to be gone within like a couple of weeks or something. That's what we had to do, because Ben found out he had a job and we had to be over here within a month, so we had to get his visa quite quickly. So they were really good. They also helped with Ben getting a bank account, which is the next thing that I have on my list, which can be very, very difficult. So with a bank account, you need an address. That's just, you need to prove that you live over here, that you're a person. So that was one thing that the company did not necessarily help with. What they can do is they can put you in like temporary accommodation, which is what I would recommend if you don't know anybody over here or have any family members who you won't be living with temporarily while you do find your own place. If you're lucky to find your own place before you come over, that's awesome. I wish we knew to do that, but we did not. So we came over here and we moved in temporarily with my cousins, but so that we use their address to send our bank details through to everything. But that's something that would have been really difficult if I didn't have family over here. So that was, yeah, that's a huge thing. You need to get an address. So whether that is staying with a friend for a while or going through a company like First Contact who can help you find accommodation when you first come over. So that's the main thing. You need an address when you come over here just to get your bank account set up. So going to renting, which is my next one on the list, it is very, very difficult to get rental over here. You have to have, you know, your address to get your bank account, and to get your bank account because you need to get a rental, and you need to prove that you have an income or that you have money. And what most people do, or what most rental companies over here, they want you to pay 6 months rent up front. So you have to have a lot of money to be able to afford that. It is very expensive. Fortunately, we did. So we were able to pay 6 months rent up front for a 1-bedroom flat. Yeah, but it's really, really expensive. It's crazy. And most people will want that unless you have a guarantor who has to live in the UK and who can technically, well not technically I guess, be in charge or be responsible for paying your rent if you can't afford to pay it on time. With rentals as well, you have to earn a minimum amount. It depends on how expensive you want the rental place to be, so that will vary so much. But if you're just coming over here, which I think most Australians do, just to come over for 2 years to have fun, get a job, doing God knows what, I don't know, retail, bar work, whatever you want to do, yeah, you're going to be sharing accommodation unless you are very, very lucky that you have saved a lot of money so that you can afford rent. Because yes, they will look into how much you earn, and if you even meet the minimum requirements, can you afford the 6 months rent up front, and do you have a guarantor, because that's what they want. Ended up choosing Stratford as the place that we want to live. One thing that I found with a lot of accommodation in areas that we were particularly looking is that they were so old. London is just a very, very old place, and it is a very, very expensive place to live. The price that we pay for this 1-bedroom apartment, we could be living in a penthouse on the Gold Coast, just as a price comparison. That's how crazy it is. But the reason we chose the place that we're in is because it is quite a modern place compared to some places that we did go look at. I honestly was pretty much open to anything until we started looking at some of the rentals. One place, you opened up what appeared to be a cupboard and the kitchen was in there, which was, I was just like, oh, I can't do this. So we decided to get a place that was a little bit more over our budget but felt more like home, just for the first year while we got used to this. Most places don't do 6-month leases. You have to sign for 12 months, but they do allow you to put a clause break in, which means you can break it after the 6 months if you give them 2 months notice. But our landlady did not let us do that. But after the trouble we had trying to find this place, I was totally okay with that. I said to Ben, I just want to stay there for a year and I don't want to move. But the year is coming up. It is January, and we moved in here the very first day of April. So our lease is up at the end of March, and we will be moving to a town a little bit further out of London. We've done the city. We want to do the more country, relaxed lifestyle. It will still be very convenient for Ben to get to work, and for me because there's places out there I can work. So yeah, we're going to give it a change and see if we like that. But that's, I hope, touched base enough on renting. Just that if you want to get an apartment by yourself, that you will either have to have the 6 months up front, make the minimum amount of money, plus have a lot more money just to put down for bonds and deposits and all that, and also have a guarantor if you don't meet any of those. So that's what I recommend. Another thing that you could also consider if you ever move over here is to live out of London. London is very much overpriced, and it is just like, I guess, any other city in the world, although it is very pretty. But the countryside here is beautiful, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to moving out of the city and giving that a go. I know some people who actually have come over to London and they didn't even live in this, well, I guess they come over to England and they didn't live in London at all. They go over and live in what they call over here like little villages, which is, I guess, what we would refer to as a town or a suburb. And rent out there is just, it's crazy how much cheaper it is when you go out of London. Like, yeah, so you save a lot of money if you wanted to go out of London, and it is really, really easy to get into London. So another thing I also wanted to talk about is traveling. When I thought I was moving to London, I was like, yes, I'm going to be traveling every weekend, and I thought it was just going to be so cool and exciting. But yeah, we didn't really travel much when we first moved here. We moved into this apartment in April, and we did not go anywhere until July. I will say though, it was really nice to drive around like England and go into London and do that sort of stuff, but I really did think that we'd be traveling a lot more. We eventually did start traveling. We just wanted to get settled in, I guess, first. But I have learned that you don't necessarily travel where you want to go. You travel where's on sale, and trust me, there are some amazing, like, we've already been to so many amazing countries, and it's freaking awesome. I love it. That's the best thing about living in London. But yeah, if you want to travel a lot, travel where it's on sale, and they do have a lot of sales. It's yeah, British Airways is actually really quite cheap considering it is like I know, like the national carrier, if that's what you want to call it. Like compared to Qantas, British Airways, it's really, really cheap. I've been using a lot of Expedia just to compare different airlines, because you do have like EasyJet and Ryanair, but British Airways is actually really, really good. It generally is like just as cheap or just a little bit more expensive, but with British Airways you do get to bring like a huge carry-on bag, and I think you can weigh up to like 23 kilos, which is crazy. With Ryanair and EasyJet, you know, you literally have to pay for everything, to pick your seat, to bring any bag on. You get like one bag included, and it's like a tiny little handbag. But yeah, so when it comes to traveling, travel where the sales are, and that way you can actually travel a lot more. Everywhere in Europe is beautiful, and everywhere we've been to I've loved, so that's definitely another thing that was on my list. Travel where sales are, and that's how we afford to travel so much. We go where the sales are, not necessarily where we want to. And then lastly on my list is about getting jobs here. As I mentioned, we moved over here because Ben got a job over here, and that's why we moved. However, I didn't. When we came over here, I did not have any work to go to. So what I found out is over here a lot of their work is done through agencies. Unlike Australia, you go direct to the company. Over here you go through an agency who will then find a role that's suited for you. I don't know if I prefer it. It does, I guess, make it easier because you have someone kind of doing the hard work for you, but I don't know, then you have to go and have interviews with all the agency peoples, and I guess I'd rather deal directly with them one-on-one. But yeah, so if you want to look at work, go on to agencies. If you literally just type in London agencies on Google, hundreds will pop up and they all pretty much do the same thing. I couldn't even tell you any that I've dealt with because I don't even remember the names of them. But that's how a lot of the work happens around here. You go through an agency. So that's the last thing that was on my Q&A list that I really wanted to touch base on. I hope some of that advice and some of those tips were helpful. I really wanted to share them with you guys because I wish someone had told me about some of the things, and so it wouldn't have been such a reality check and such a big shock for me, and I would not have stressed as much when we moved over here. So yeah, some very helpful tips. But we're gonna go to Whole Foods now. It's pretty cold outside, so I've chucked a sweater on over the top of just my white singlet. Oh, I'll show you my outfit. This is what I'm wearing. So like I said, my mango sweater, Lovers and Friends jeans, bag, and some Adidas shoes. Now we're gonna go to the shops. Ben's so sweet. He just asked me if my ankles are gonna get cold because I have my jeans rolled up. And like, I haven't got into the habit here of checking what the weather is gonna be outside. Like, I know I assume it's gonna be cold, but I don't know. Growing up in the living on the Gold Coast for so long, I just got used to it always being sunny outside. But here, that is not the case. It is 12 at the moment, so yeah, it's cold. Guys, we're just doing our Sunday grocery shop. How crazy is this? And it's bringing us down like Regent Street. There's Oxford Street and Oxford Circus. I don't know, this is something I'll never get used to. It's still so exciting. How weird would it be if we were like driving down the street and we saw someone that we knew?
It probably is.
It'd be so weird. Such a weird coincidence. Such a huge... It is freezing and cold today. Ooh, I love Whole Foods. I was so happy when I found out that they have them here in the UK. But this one is so busy and they haven't really had everything I've wanted. They don't have the jam I want, so I'm gonna try this one. Looks good. This is the best hummus. Get one. Get two. Oh my god, these look so good. But I'm not here for that. I'm here for rye bread. Everything looks so good. I want to get this so badly. I'll try that one next time. It looks so good. We just got home from the grocery store. I don't know if I said this earlier, but it was really busy in the store today. I guess that's what happens when you go to the grocery store on a Sunday at lunchtime. And they didn't have everything I wanted, but they had other alternatives. So I really wanted this jam, which I love, but they didn't have. So I got this one to try, and why I picked this one is because it also doesn't have any sugar in it. I tried to eat like sugar-free just because of my face. So I'm gonna have some toast with some PB&J right now. Speaking of peanut butter, I want to show you this. Peanut butter is not expensive over here, but I just don't think it's as good as what you can get in Australia. And they have one that you can get in Australia, but it is really expensive. That one is really expensive. So every time I've gone home, I've always brought peanut butter back with me. So at the moment, this is my peanut butter stash. How crazy is that? I love peanut butter, so yeah, we don't have to buy it. This is my favorite one. So anytime like my family members come over here or we go there, I always get peanut butter, and I always like stock up when it's half price. And like if I don't have the luggage room to get it, I just will bring it over next time. So yeah. While I wait for my toast to just toast up, I want to tell you that I got this and I'd never had it before, and I just had a slice before. It's actually really, really yummy rye bread. I don't know if you can only get it at Whole Foods, but I'm definitely going to be buying that one again. And then also I always get these. These are so good, these corn chips, and I only like the plain flavour because they don't have sugar in them. The other ones, they have sugar in the ingredients, so not good for my face. So I got these ones. This is a jam that I said I was going to try. And also I got these ones, which I just saw were on sale and I'd never seen them before, and I like the look of them, and the ingredients all sound really yummy. So there's a banoffee and a peanut crunch one. I like getting little snacks like these because when we travel, it's always really handy to have snacks in case we can't find anywhere that I want to eat. Guys, this is delicious. I'm gonna end the vlog here, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really just wanted to make it to give you some advice and some tips when, or if you ever want to move to London. And then I just threw in the little Whole Foods thing because that's what we ended up doing today. We are gonna spend the rest of the afternoon watching movies probably, and take my makeup off and get in my comfy clothes. But yeah, I'll see you next week.